This is the Shift Show with Lettie Pitlagano. Welcome to today's session. I am your host, Hannah Lecha. I am a leadership and executive health coach, a mentor, a trainer, and an entrepreneur. And I am passionate about health. I value authenticity. I love doing different, and I love exploring ideas that challenge the status quo, especially around women, because I believe this is the time for us, to rewrite the rules about leadership, about doing business, about running our homes, and changing the world. So this is why I'm so passionate about women, developing women, because I see us, creating this new path that our parents, our grandmothers did not go through, So today you are going to hear from a seasoned environmentalist and a life coach. But she's not here because she is an environmentalist. She is here because of the journey that she has traveled. You are going to hear her story. She is a seasoned environmentalist, like I mentioned, with over 20 years in the industry. And she had it all going well, for a very long time. She thought she had figured it out, using her own words, until life happened, until a family challenge and a challenge at work really, kind of rustled her feathers. And today, and prompted her to disrupt herself. So today, she is going to take us through, her journey. She's going to share with us what really woke her up, and what transpired between that time that she had a wake-up call and now, where she is now, and what is she doing. There are a lot of lessons to learn from this woman. So tune in, and if you can't finish the interview, schedule a time, come back to it. It's streaming live. You can join us in our Facebook community, the Shift Free community. It's free, but you have to join the closed group, or you can watch this on my YouTube channel at a later time. So let me not waste time. Let's get started. Let me bring her on in and get to see her. Lettie, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Coach, and morning, everyone.
How are you, Lettie, and where are you today?
I'm actually doing good. I'm live from my office today. First
And
day in office after lockdown.
wow, thank you very much. Yeah, you see, isn't technology beautiful? I'm doing this. I'm hosting this all the way from Maung, and you are in Gaborone. But technology is just bringing all of us together, and we have, viewers, people watching, part of our community watching, from different parts of the world, not even the country, different parts of the world. We have a broad community here with people in the community who are in Australia, people who are in Namibia, people who are in Zimbabwe, people who are in Uganda, people who are in the US. So it has really, bridged, the distance gap, and I'm loving it, and I'm really plugging and taking opportunity of this platform. So welcome, Lettie. You are a seasoned environmentalist. I looked at your profile. Can you just briefly take us through your career path to where you are right now?
Yeah, I completed my first degree in 1998 with environmental science and biology, ecology to be specific. And then immediately I joined Department of Wildlife and National Parks as a wildlife biologist, where I grew through the ranks until I resigned from government as a senior wildlife biologist. And I had a short stint at GeoFlux, where I was a senior environmental consultant for 1.5 years. And then that's when I moved to Botswana, where I really stayed for quite some time as an environmental manager for 8 years. I since then moved on to be the country manager for DBS Environmental in 2018, and I'm still there. where it's a
Oh,
company where it's an international company actually with several offices all over the world. So I'm heading the Botswana office.
wow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, what an interesting career path. Uh, you actually spent about 8 years in Botswana, and I think in Botswana, Botswana is considered, the employer of choice. One of those employers that people aspire to work for, and when people are there, it's not easy for them to just quit and go elsewhere. So how did that come about for you? What gave you the guts to leave the employer of choice?
I must say, yeah, I must say I was quite happy to join the employer of choice and my stay there. But there was a point within my career where I felt I'm not myself anymore. I've given so much for the organization, and I was literally living for the organization. And the organization was actually molding me into what they want to be. But in the process, my true self was suffocating. So it was at that point where I was really now going into a place where I was feeling depressed about going to work every day. And it was in 2017 while I was now on leave and going through all these emotions, which were very uncomfortable about my job, my current job, that I found an advert for the New Year retreat. And the message that really caught my eye in there was that it was go and unplug, leave everything behind, unplug, refresh, and really look into yourself and say who you are. That caught my attention, and then I went to attend that retreat in 2018 January, and that was my eye opener into giving me the confidence to actually live the employer of choice. Because from that retreat, I came as
Okay,
a
okay,
different.
okay. Can you hold it there? Can you hold it there? Okay, I hear you. You are citing that retreat, but for those of you who are watching, these listeners, I need to make a declaration that I actually know Lettie very well. Lettie was a year. Yeah, she was a year behind me. Were you a year behind me at university?
Yes, a year behind you.
Yeah. So Letty was a year behind me at university. We kind of did the same course.
Mm.
I am a biologist. I majored my first degrees in ecology. So Letty was a year behind me at university. And so we have known each other. We're in the same department, everything. I gave her my past papers when I graduated.
Yes.
So she has known me for a very long time. Even when I started becoming certifying as a coach and coaching, she was there. So I want you to take us back. Why are you now just talking about the 2017 advert? What happened? Where were you in between 2015 and 2017?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question. I must confess that, like Coach have stated, I've known her for quite some years. And when she introduced me and saying she's passionate about growing women, I felt a bit, like, because for me, I doubted her as a coach because I've known her. So it's not like that was the first advert that I saw with the Renew You retreat. I've seen her advert, but this is the lady that I've known. She's a biologist, but also I was very comfortable in my life at that stage because my family life, my career life was going on so well. So I was so comfortable. It's like I didn't have a reason to go and listen to a life coach to try and help me figure out my life. But having said that, I actually attended, it was in 2016, I attended a vision board. For me, it was just going there just to really see if she could actually help me anyhow. So it was like I was testing the waters. So I did the vision board and then I went and put it somewhere together dust and never looked at back until now. I was in a space where now I was in a very uncomfortable space in terms of my career, but also maybe to mention that even from the family side, in 2017 I have a challenge because I have a son who is now 24 years, and in 2017 he actually just called us as his parents to say he's depressed. And when he went through the test, it was found that he's actually severely depressed, and that pushed him to substance abuse. And I was there now, not knowing what to do with this kid, because I felt I had figured everything out. I had thought he would grow up to be a priest. You know, my job is going well, and that was a wake-up call as well.
I don't want to comment on that one where you wish you would be a priest. I always talk about how parents want to dream for their kids, but everyone dreams for themselves. So if mothers, especially mothers, would learn that they can dream for their kids, then we'd have less of those, depression and other issues. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, so that wake up call. So you went to the retreat. What would you say were your highlights there? What really pushed you to go back and take that bold move of quitting your job and relocating from Morapa to Gaborone? So what really transpired there that moved you to take action?
You know, what really, I must say my aha moments in there. You know, at the retreat, we did a lot of reflection. You know, as in terms of, and a bit of an assessment of your life. And when I assessed my life, I did a lot of reflection. I could tell from there that I don't belong with my current job, because we did a bit of also setting goals to where do you want to see yourself, such kind of questions. And when I looked at the forecast, my goals were not within Botswana. So that was a kick onto me to say you need to move on and achieve what you want to be in terms of profession. I felt stifled at the time now because I think I've done so much for the company, and I couldn't do any new thing. And there was no excitement anymore. So I just felt no. That retreat really helped me into feeling comfortable with decision that no, I need to step out.
So it was kind of like a wake up call to say, Letty, you have been too comfortable. You have been too comfortable, and you need to move. And I think by that time you just felt like you wanted to just dump everything and quit, but you actually did. You kind of took baby steps. What helped you to go back there, and continue really working and being productive at the same time while you were thinking about your next steps?
Yeah, I must say that the Renew retreat was like formed a basis, but immediately at the retreat, I actually joined Ignite Spark, which was a course that really now laid a platform in terms of building blocks for me to be able to take the steps that I wanted to move to another job, but while also performing in the current scenario. But what really kept me while I haven't yet moved to where I am today was the statement that coach said to say you don't have control on what people say and what the world throw to you, but you have control on how to react to that. And basically, like my happiness was on my hands, and that was really a serious wake up call for me because there were a lot of uncomfortable zones for me at work, and I used to respond in a not a very nice way. I'm not even comfortable saying how I used to respond to that, but believe you not, from the retreat I was a changed somebody. I had to think through my responses every time when issues land into my desk. But I must say, the Ignite Spark was really a very good building block and stepping stones for me to actually have a proper plan now, to say this is how I'm going to achieve my goals, because now I had clear goals. Or even after joining, immediately I also did the vision board, and the vision board really now helped me to outline where the directions into my life in terms of professional and my personal life.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think if I remember very well, at the retreat, I think what came up for you was that you were too comfortable and you felt like your dreams are not housed in Orapa, so you need to move. But you were not very, very specific about where and what you are doing. So when did you really have the clarity that the iron is hot enough, now it's ready for you to strike?
Yes, the clarity came with the like I indicated, the Ignite Spark program. there's one chapter that really, I think, got to me, and it was the first chapter of that training. It wanted you to reflect, refresh, did introspection. So at that point, and you were practically doing it, not necessarily just hearing it as a lecture. So that practical process that I took to actually reflect a lot into my life, it gave me that clarity. But then sealing it with doing a vision board, where I was taken through a process to really refine my goals. My goals were clear from the vision board, that this is the direction that I wanted to take.
Wow. And, I think that was February. The retreat was in January, and then that was in February. But I remember, I think I still have your message. That was sometimes in April. You actually sent me a message and said, "Coach, I have a job offer in Gaborone," and I was like, "Wow, that is too quick." So for me, I looked at it and said, most of the time we look at the Bible at how miracles were happening, and we wish we could get miracles, and we do so many things looking for miracles. I keep on telling my clients that, we have got miracles. Miracles happen in our own lives, but we are too busy, and we cannot even see the miracles when they are happening. So for you, I thought that was a miracle, with a time span of like 3 months, from January to April. And then after you just made a commitment that you are going to, to transition, you're going to change jobs, then you get a new job. How did that miracle happen for you? Because I think that was a miracle.
Yes, I also believe that was a miracle. I must say I'm a prayerful woman. I've been brought up in a Christian family, and that's the only life that I know. And I must say also, give gratitude to the speakers that were invited last week, because they are a prayerful. There's a priest, there's a pastor there. And when he also took us through his experiences, I got touched, because most of the time when we believe as Christians that I'll pray and pray and pray, but you believe prayer without actions doesn't give results. Even by the time I get into all these challenges that I've already mentioned, I was still praying, but I needed to act like I did as I was taken through the process of renewing myself, being to be who I am today. I needed some kind of assistance. So my miracle happened because I actually took a step while I was still praying about my future. But what really happened was that after I told coach that, I think now I'm certain I want to move, and I was very specific of where I wanted to move. I wanted to move to Gaborone because I needed to go and support my son. And by the way, I was now in a very good state of mind to actually support him, because I went through with him in his journey of depression, and sometimes I'd be so much that by now I'm talking about a gentleman who is studying a course that he wants in China as we speak. And I'm quite a proud mother to say that after what we went through. But the miracle happened because, when I confessed that I really want to move to Gaborone, this company that I'm working for now, it actually looked at my link profile, which was inactive. I actually left it inactive because I was so comfortable. I didn't need to update my LinkedIn. My life was going on so well. But after my discomfort, I actually updated my LinkedIn profile in January. And the company looked at my link profile, and then, believe it or not, everything was history. I sat for interviews. They just approached me. I didn't even apply. I didn't even have to apply to many jobs to actually get this miracle that happened to me. But then I got hired. And initially, maybe the cherry on top was that initially when they wanted me for a principal environmental consultant. But after the interview, they just said, "We want you to be our country manager." So that was my miracle.
Wow. So you didn't even apply. You were just kind of witch hunted for that job. Yeah, I think this really speaks to a conversation that we had in the Shift community, this week, talking about the process of change and the process of actually getting out of your comfort zone. That it begins with a decision and then followed by a commitment, and that once you make a commitment, the universe kind of opens up, all sorts of resources that you actually need. So the moment that you make a commitment, the path gets revealed for you. And I think that is where most of us we stop short, because our thinking is that we want to see the whole staircase, from the top down. But that's not how life happens. Life, things are revealed to us step by step as we actually make decisions. So, okay, yeah, can you take us then? So that is how you ended up there as the country manager. Wow, what an interesting story. So what did you learn when you got there, really? So what transpired?
That's a good question, Coach. When I left, I was so excited and I had this dream. I'm going to sail. I'm working for an international company. I'll be traveling the world and so forth. And unfortunately, that was not the case. I got here and I found that the company now expect me to do other stuff that I was very uncomfortable with. Basically, now my role is to run the whole company, both from the technical side and from the business side. And I had, throughout my career, I'm a very, very technical person in terms of being an environmentalist. And it was a new field altogether. Business management was a new field altogether. So I sort of head out now to say, have I made the right decision? That little voice that keeps on bringing in those doubts in you. But believe you not, when you are at a stage where you've been coached by Hannah, believe you not, that little voice dies very quickly. And for me, it was like, this is a challenge, and I'm going to face it, and I'm going to do that. After leaving that pity party time that delayed me into developing the company future, I actually developed a plan. I've learned something very well from the coaching, that you have to have a plan, step by step, with timelines in terms of what you want to do in order for you to achieve the vision that you want to achieve. So that's what I did. I did for the company. I just sat down and developed the plan and have tasks which I was monitoring daily, weekly to say. And as I speak right now, the company is up and running, and to the level that everybody is happy, including myself. But yes, I really had a very uncomfortable landing where I am today.
So you moved from a comfortable place into an uncomfortable place.
Yes. Yeah,
I, I, I,
I
okay.
forgot to mention that I used to send you messages to say I want to quit, I want to go back. That little voice, but it stopped very quickly.
Yeah, and I kept saying, no, this is growth. There's no turning back. I think our growth is in that discomfort moment, that we kind of resist. So if we allow ourselves to go through that comfort moment, then we will end up really really growing. So when you look back, would you say it was a good move, and that has kind of transformed you into a better human being, into a better leader? Would you say that?
Yeah, very much so. I must say, when I looked back at the 2 years that I've made this step, this very huge step in my life, um, I've achieved several things that were in my list of things to achieve, or even within my vision board. One of the things that I really, really wanted was to be an accredited environmentalist. And I couldn't get the accreditation while still working for the Botswana. So I needed to work in this kind of environment in order for me to get accreditation. And by January this year, I actually got an accreditation. So I'm now practicing as a practitioner, an accredited practitioner. On top of that, the other thing that really wanted was the international exposure, as in terms of, I always dreamt myself as this international environmentalist, and I'm there. I'm working in international projects. I go present in international workshops and so forth. So that is one thing that is really working for. So in terms of career or professional, my profession, I've achieved so much by my time here. But one thing that also really improved for me is leadership. Here now, I had to lead, as in proper leading. I don't have any supervisor here in Botswana, actually. My boss sits in South Africa. So everything backstage stops with me in Botswana. And that really required me to uplift my leadership skills. But it was not a very difficult journey because I was literally being coached through that. So I was a better person. Actually, really, my journey as a in personal development has even developed me into a better leader. Not necessarily just at work, but also even at home, I'm a better person.
Wow. Wow, that's really interesting. That's good to actually hear. And let me just take you a little bit back. I know you both your you and your husband, you both worked in Orapa, and I think maybe it was in the same department. If not, you both worked in Orapa, and so really, when you decided to make this big move, what was his response?
Yeah, that's another chapter, you know. um, like Coach has said, I was working since I got married. Actually, I had stayed apart from my husband for 7 years. So the first time that we stayed together was when I moved to work in Botswana. So it was really the nicest part of my marriage because that I was staying with my whole family in Orapa. So when I made a decision now that remember it was a personal decision that was affecting my family because it was literally for me to for my growth in terms of my professional growth, but also in terms of family, because I needed to come and support our son also in Gaborone. So, but I must say, you know, being coached has done wonders for me because what really transpired when I told him that, you know what, I'm in this journey and I feel now I need to step out and move to Gaborone and look for a different job that would satisfy my professional growth. It was about how I said it to him that I got a lot of support from him. He really understood. And he was very supportive. But remember, we had so much pressure, I must say. It was pressure from his side as a man. He had questions like, are you allowing your wife to go to Gaborone to do what? You know, because I was living, even the kids were staying with my husband. I was staying here alone. So my husband was staying with the kids. So it even culturally, it was not a very easy thing because people say, so you leave your wife to go and play in Gaborone while you are babysitting in Oraba. But also remember, even the society, our family, our clothes, my mother, everybody was like, it was a very uncomfortable a step that I took for everybody, but I made them understand by really explaining myself in a way that they would understand where I'm coming from and why and the benefit that it comes with me having taken that step. Because believe it or not, a happier me was a happier wife, a happier mother, a happier daughter-in-law, a happier daughter, and so forth. So I could serve my family better with the happiness that came with the step that I took.
Wow, interesting. But so do you think he saw it coming? Do you think it was gradual? He saw that you were becoming a different person.
Yes, believe it or not, the moment I arrived back from the renewal trip, my husband saw a different person. Because I really came there renewed. Like the title said, renew you. I came renewed. So I looked at life differently and in a better way, in a different, better way. So he saw it coming because from January, this was the new me who talked sense, who talked in a way that is more processed and thought of. So I was taking him through my journey. No, I didn't leave him behind as in when I was evolving myself. So he saw it coming. So it made it not so difficult when we sat down and discussed now my time to leave which was in April. So it was about 4 months of him seeing a different me.
Wow. So that was a challenging one, and I think I applaud you for that because one of the things that really keep us stuck is societal expectations. Is what will people actually say? So most of us we know our desires, we know our discontent, but to take a step, it means it's gonna affect the people around us. It's gonna affect our family. It's gonna affect our relatives, our friends, and that's what stops people because if they are not where you are, they're going to start seeing things differently. But I'm glad that you were able to identify that there was that pressure, but you decided to continue and move beyond it at the same time. So, what would you really, what advice would you give to someone who is where you were kind of stuck, kind of comfortable, you know, but you decided to take a step. So, what advice would you give someone who's comfortable, who's in their comfort zone and everything seems to be working well, but deep down they know it's not?
Yeah, I must say, in that regard, I would say, I was really, really comfortable. Let me repeat that. I was really, really comfortable. And sometimes, when you feel you've acquired so much in life in terms of educational qualifications and in terms of your titles at work and so forth, you feel so comfortable, you don't think you need anybody to actually assist you to actually be a better person. But what I've also picked, the biggest learning for me is that as you grow professionally, looking at your technical, your titles, or also your qualifications and so forth, you sort of forget yourself in the process. You get lost, until there's a wake up call. Like for me, when life really happened to me, that was a wake up call, and it took me out of my comfort. And by that time, my title at work, my qualification were not helping. I needed to be helping myself, but the state of mind and emotions that I was at that point, I couldn't help myself. So really, my advice is that people, we really need to take care of ourselves. We need to always focus on our personal development in order for you to serve this other aspect of your life very well. But you really need a life coach in your life to actually be a better version of yourself. So my advice is, guys, take care of ourselves. You are very important emotionally, but also physically. I used not to go to a dentist. Believe it or not, I go and check my eyes. I go and check even health wise. So please, let's take care of ourselves so that we can take care of everybody around us. As women, actually, we have a lot of responsibility because we take care of a lot of people around us. But if you are not in a very good state of mind, you don't also do the best for the other people that depend on you.
Yeah, that's what I get a lot when, especially when women choose to disrupt themselves and they go through coaching. It's like the relatives kind of enjoy the new person, that comes out of that process. So actually, it really shows that we may be trying to do the best that we can for our families, but while doing it, maybe we are doing it in such a way that it kind of rustles their feathers somehow. So that's one of the things that I've really noticed, over the years. Even when I started, changing my life and reinventing my life. I remember when I joined the John Maxwell team, Lawrence used to say, I want to see this John Maxwell and thank him.
Mm.
So I want to see this John Maxwell, and really thank him for turning you into the woman that you are today. So those are some of the things that really I came up. And I think one thing that I think I remember, you once spoke at a conference where your title was, I thought I had it figured it all, then alas. Then alas, and I think I could relate. But one thing that I want to take you back to, that I think you really touched me and a lot of people, especially women, is when you talked about that you apart from the discomfort of being comfortable in the job, and of raising, a child who was having challenges. I think there was also something that had died within you. It's like you birthed your dreams when you actually, disrupted the status quo. So I remember you saying you were just driving your husband's, vision. So can you just, enlighten us on that?
Yeah, coach. Like I indicated, really, when you focus on other things, you sort of your individuality really dies. So that's how I actually was also living, and I thought it was okay. I didn't until I really got to unpack myself, understand who I am, to only see that I've been really not living in my marriage. I was actually a follower, but not a partaker into what the family is developing into. Because I used to follow his dream. If he says this time my dream is this, I'll just follow. Because I was literally dead inside. I was just, living, if I might put it that way, living in quotation marks. But having gone through the process of internalizing and really looking into myself to where I had so many dreams that I had pegged. And to tell the truth, on the 2016 vision board that I attended and ignored, the dreams were there. But they never saw the day of light because I never took a step now to work on myself to actually so that I can actually work on my dreams. And since then, since 2018, my dreams are alive and kicking. And now I'm part of the family development and the family's future. I'm not just a partaker and a walker into my marriage. So now I'm a partner with my husband in developing where our family, where we want our family to be. So I'm so alive, and I'm no longer living my husband's dreams. I'm walking with him in his dreams as much as he's walking with me in my dreams.
Wow, that is actually so powerful. That is so powerful, because I believe that our individual dreams are kind of what kindles us, are the kind of what really stimulates us and inspires us to continue, moving, to continue taking one step every day. And once you stop dreaming, then it's like something dies within you inside. And talking about your own dreams, I know that you sent me a message like 2 weeks or a week ago that you've just completed your diploma in life coaching, because one of the blueprint, in Ignite Your Spark, back then when Lettie was doing Ignite Your Spark, it was actually 6 months. It was a 6 months program. Now it's actually a year. It was if it was a year, you would have long finished that diploma. So, yeah, it's actually 6 months now, because I realized that at the end of the 6 months, everyone had to come up with a blueprint of what is that they wanted to pursue and really work on and turn into reality. So and once they did it, they got excited. But then because the program ended and they didn't continue, they kind of then slacked into bringing that blueprint or that dream to reality. But for you, I think one of your blueprints was to actually become a life coach, and you looked around and invested in a program so that you can certify as a life coach. So you just certified as a life coach. Can you take us through through that?
Yes, I think that was one thing that I kept on, I think, suppressing for so many years, that I wanted to be a life coach. But I would just talk to people and help them somehow. They give me feedback, but believe it or not, having defined my dreams through my vision board and Ignite Your Spark and Renew You, I was adamant that I really want to take this journey, but I needed to have a qualification to actually assist me with the natural part of it that came as I grew up. So I enrolled in the program, and I actually had set myself timelines to say by this time I want to be certified and have completed my diploma, and I actually did. And the first person when I got my diploma as center coach, I have now completed my diploma. It's a journey, I must say, because I need to now start practicing. So it is another process that I should start and put plans in place to say, how do I get it started up and running? But it's one of the achievements that I got from the programs that I enrolled with the coach. I have something to show, and I'm proud of it.
Wow. Yes. Thank you very much for sharing on that. Yeah, I know that you touched a lot of women there, at Live to Lead last year, when you talked about not even having a dream and just following through and not being a partaker of what was going on in your family. So for me, that is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about developing women, because we play a very crucial role. And if we don't play it, we leave a lot to chance. And a lot of things happen when we live our lives to chance, and our families to chances. So things that we could deal with, we miss them, especially when it comes to even raising our kids. So that was quite a great story from you. So what final advice would you give to the listener, someone who is watching today, who's watching this live, or who is watching this as a recording later on?
My final word is just to say, wake up, love yourself, live your dream, and be a better version of yourself. And you can only do that by investing on personal development. So please, let's go out there and develop and invest on personal development so that we can be a happier society, a happier woman, a happier family, a happier society. And thank you very much, Coach, for giving me this opportunity to share my story with the rest of women and men out there.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome, Lettie. Your story has always been close to my heart. Like I mentioned, when you are coaching someone that you know, it's quite challenging. You know, it's one of those things that I think helped me to grow as a coach, because I was most of the time, because I started coaching from home, I was put into the spotlight of coaching people that are very close to me, people that are very close to my heart, and I had to really, apply the coaching ethics and do it. I would say it was very uncomfortable at the beginning, but I think I'm at a place where now I'm able to handle it and just treat it like this is a job, this is a profession. Differentiate between me as a sister and me as a coach. So it was a challenge also, coaching you and guiding you through this path, but it has been a pleasure along the way. I've grown also through doing that, and I wish you all the best as you go out there and change lives, as a life coach. I'm looking forward to handing my buttons, some of the things that I'm doing to most of you, the life coaches, because I want to step into the leadership coaching role, you know, and really focus there, because I think that's where I'm being called to. I think I've done my part, so some people need to carry the baton and continue it while I move to the next level. So I look forward to supporting you as you start up your life coaching business and helping other people. So thank you very much for taking your time to watch today's episode. I respect your time. I know there are so many things that you could be doing, but you chose to be here today. And if you are watching the recording, you're still fine. Make sure you comment below the video. And for those of you, I think this today we were streaming this, I think on my YouTube channel.
Wow.
So yeah, so you can also catch this recording on my YouTube channel. So thank you very much, Lettie. Let me release you to go back to work.
Thank you very much, and thanks everybody. Have a wonderful day and keep safe.
You are most welcome.